I feel like we got a lot of progress done that turn. We played Titan, hasted it, transmuted Tolari West, and Boseju'd all on turn 3 thanks to Lotus Cobra, so that's pretty cool. Hello and welcome, guys. We are here with a new list. This time we're playing a list by one of my followers on Twitter by the name of Jeff, or Doozay, who also streams on Twitch, so if you're not already supporting this content creator, then do so. But today, we're going to be playing one of Doozay's personal lists, one that he's put a lot of love and work into, and as you'll notice, it plays a lot of very interesting card choices, including Lotus Cobra, Knight of the Reliquary, and Teferi Time Raveler. Yes, I said that right. We are playing just a couple of interesting deviations from this original list. The first being, there was only 8 bounce lands in this list, including the Boros Garrison, and I felt like that was a little short, so I wanted to make room for a second copy of Gruul Turf. There's also 0 copies of Boseiju in the 75, which I felt like had to be a mistake. At least one Boseiju is fantastic to search for against Tron and against Hammer, mainly. So having at least one copy of Boseiju, as well as, being able to find it off of a Knight of the Reliquary or naturally draw it in order to protect yourself from Blood Moon type things, definitely want to have access to that. And finally, we had 2 Triomes, but not the best one, and this was an oversight in the list. The list was supposed to include Spar's headquarters, and so I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of cutting both of the other Triomes, as I think Triomes are not particularly great if they're not tapping for Bant colors of mana in this list. I think that Triomes are pretty horrible, and instead we're making room for the extra Gruul Turf and the Boseiju, and yeah, everything else about the list is the same, other than 2 copies of Drannith Magistrate in the sideboard, which originally were Flusterstorms, but considering this card is almost certainly for specifically the Cascade matchups, I felt like I would want to give Drannith Magistrate a shot, as it is a 2-mana hate piece that doesn't get interacted with by our opponent's Force of Vigors and Foundation Breakers. They can still bounce it with Brazen Borrower, but I felt like this was an interesting inclusion that I've seen in a couple of Japanese players' lists, and I wanted to give it a shot here since we're splashing white anyways. And let's talk a little bit about the colors that we are splashing. The first card that we're playing is Teferi Time Raveler, which is a card that'll help us with the Cascade matchup and lets us bounce our opponent's sagas or various other things, turns off our opponent's counter magic or removal during our turn, which is pretty nice. And of course, we could always, in niche situations, use it to bounce our own Arboreal Grazer, for example, but a lot of times this is going to be aiming to interact with our opponent in some way, bounce their creature, Murktide, for example, and just invalidate their counter magic, an additional threat against control. We're also playing 3 copies of Knight of the Reliquary, a 3-mana 2/2 that gets +1 for each land in your graveyard, and then you can tap it and sacrifice a forest or plains in order to search your library for a land card. So, of course, from the sideboard, we'll be able to get our Bojuka Bog here as hate against our opponent's graveyard stuff. But in the main board, this is just helping us find extra copies of bounce lands. It'll help us set up basic force to play around Blood Moon, or one of Cavernous Souls to slam that Titan into play. And in order to facilitate these color splashes, which we're able to attain pretty easily, we're playing 4 copies of Lotus Cobra among a pile of fetch lands and Spar's headquarters, of course, to fix our mana. We have Lotus Cobra as well as a 2-mana 2/1 that will make a mana of any color whenever a land comes into play. So, of course, if you have a Lotus Cobra in play, and you play a fetch land like Verdant Catacombs, you get a mana from the Verdant entering, and then you fetch it and get an untapped land, and get another mana from the Cobra, and then you can tap the force that you search for. So with a Cobra in play, Verdant Catacombs represents 3 mana, or same with Misty Rainforest as well. And bounce lands essentially enter untapped, making 1 mana when they come into play, even without an amulet, so it lets us have mana from our various ETB tapped lands. It allows for hasting off of Slayer Stronghold pretty easily. We just get a bounce land in the Slayers, float red-white with the Lotus Cobra ability, and pick up the Slayers, and then play it for turn, and we can haste naturally, so that's something that can come up. And yeah, the only interesting things to note about what this list is missing is Dryad of the Elysian Grove and Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. This deck is much more all-in on getting Primeval Titan or a big Knight in play and winning that way, and we also see the Boros Garrison Slayers Sunhome package in order to kind of facilitate that, as well as 2 Tolari Wests to make sure that we can chain Titans together if we need to grind through removal. And yeah, we don't see any copies of Valakut either for that reason. I would think that playing Dryad is a potential option for this shell. I don't know how I would fit it in exactly. I have some ideas since I've played a couple leads with the list, but I'll save them until the end. And yeah, in the sideboard, we have a couple copies of Fire Spout hanging out for Mages of the Moon decks, and Dismembers as well. We have an Endurance and Tireless Tracker as some bullets against the various matchups where those are good. We have Bajuka Bog to bring in from the board to hate out DRC decks and Unholy Heat. Kabir Crossroads as an extra white land that'll gain us some life. We have Force of Vigor and Foundation Breaker as ways to interact with artifacts and enchantments. And we have Sigarda Heron's Grace, the 5-mana 4/5 flyer that gives you and humans you control hexproof. And then finally, for 2 mana, you can exile a card from your graveyard to make a 1/1 white human soldier. I initially thought that this card would be for the Yawgmoth matchup, as it stops us from getting Necromanched and Thoughtseized and Geralf Messengered, and it also stops, like, Blood Artist, although it doesn't stop Zulaport Cutthroat, but most of those lists are on Blood Artist anyways, so, like, I thought this would be a good pack target for that matchup, even if we get our Titans exiled. But I was actually told by Doozay that Sigarda is particularly for the grindier matchups, like discard or control decks, where just making an army of 1/1s and having a resilient 5-mana 4/5 flyer that we can get into play is kind of where we want to be. So for the grindy matchups, but I also think it'll be an interesting pack target against the Yawgmoth as well. And then finally, we have our 2 copies of Drannith to hate out the Cascade matchups, and a Singleton Rest in Peace, just because Rest in Peace happens to be very well positioned in the meta at the moment. I could even see playing a second copy of this. I've been pretty impressed by it with these white splashes. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Everything that you need to know about the list will be obvious when we play it, because it plays some sweet cards, and there's some interesting packed for Lotus Cobra type lines that hopefully will get showcased in this league. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys in match 1. Alrighty, let's hop in here for match 1. See if we can do some crazy Lotus Cobra shenanigans. That's what I'm hoping for. Be on the play and shorten this gigantic chat. And we do have a Lotus Cobra. We could be doing it. We get to play turn 2 Azusa. So turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Azusa into... we can't play the Cobra this upcoming turn because we only have 1 green source. We could play turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Sunhome Cobra, turn 3 bounce land. That'd be 4/5 from the Cobra. So Azusa will probably be Titan on turn 3 here. And we're definitely keeping it. The question is the sequencing. And if our Lotus Cobra dies, and then we know that our Azusa is good to go, so... Interesting. What are we fetching for here? If we get a breeding pool, that means we could cast 3 Fairy if we draw it. So, in fact, we could even do it on turn 2, thanks to our Boros Garrison. So I am going to fetch Shock here. I think it's probably worth it. Let's see what our opponent's on. Mishra's Bauble. They're looking at our top card. No, they're looking at themselves. Looking in the mirror. And by that, I mean the top of their deck. And Inquisition. Okay. I presume they take Summoner's Pact here, I guess? If we just top deck a Titan after they take Summoner's Pact, then we're good to go, so... They do take the Summoner's Pact. Alright, so we're looking for a replacement. We'll always yield to their baubles. Another Amulet, huh? Interesting. Okay, so I guess we're just playing Sunhome Lotus Cobra. Saving the Amulet so our opponent doesn't know about it. Incentivizing them to kill the Cobra. And even if they do, we can still probably just Titan this upcoming turn. By going Garrison, pick it up, play Azusa, play Garrison, pick up Breeding Pool, play Breeding Pool, and that'll make double green, since there'll be 2 Amulets. Haven't gotten there yet, though. We can double strike our Lotus Cobra. Value. And if we play 2 spells here, then it'll trigger their Shredder. So you don't probably want to play out the Amulet and the Azusa here. So we can play Amulet... Boros Garrison, Double Strike Cobra attack and pass. Or we could play Boros Garrison, Azusa, Forest Boros Garrison. Oh, actually, I guess we don't even have to do all of that. So we're going to keep the Amulet in hand. And our Lotus Cobra is going to float some mana here. Going to do a little bit of work here. And we're not going to always deal to Amulets, unfortunately. As much as I would like to, that's not the plan. Play our Azusa, and now we have double strike mana if we play Garrison. I think we just play Forest Garrison. Float white. Float red. Untap. Pick up the Garrison and double strike Cobra. And if they want to trade their Shredder for our Cobra, then I'm pretty happy with that. So, not playing the Amulet so they don't get to connive, of course. And if they kill our Azusa, we don't really care that much. In fact, it's probably actively good for us. Also, just casting Tainted Indulgence is probably good for us, too. Not expecting Tainted Indulgence from this deck, actually, to be honest, but no Titan. Sad times. Well, we'll play out our Amulet now, I guess, so it doesn't just get discarded otherwise. We'll play out the Garrison. So we have guaranteed Sunhome Slayer Stronghold type mana. Pick up the Forest, I guess, which I think we'll keep in hand. Don't want to show them the Gruul Turf, I guess, so we'll just float here. Do we double strike the Cobra? Actually, maybe we are supposed to play the Forest so we know which one to double strike, but that's fine. I'm just gonna double strike the Cobra here and attack. If they want to kill our Cobra, that's fine. Alright, and we'll pass. Keeping the Force in hand to play around Kolaghan's Command or Kroxa type things, so we can still top deck Titan and just kill them, so. Inquisition. That's why we played out the Amulet, so. Yeah, that Inquisition did nothing, which is fantastic. We're getting in for 4 a turn with this snake. Seasoned Pyromancer, sure. And make 2 dudes. Persist? Ayo, what? I was not expecting this to be a persist deck, but, you know. Titan. Perfect. Opponent is very, very, very dead. Sweet. We can make 2 Titans and attack with both as well, so. Just get T-West and Bounce Land and we'll be Gucci. I'm just going to play it again. Yep, and our opponent scoops it up. Cool. Well, it's good that we saw Persist already, so we know to bring in Rest in Peace, Bajuka Bog. We're probably going to bring in Bog anyways, but do we want Dismembers? We definitely want Endurance. Probably want Tracker and Sigarda for sure. Actually, I don't know how good Sigarda actually is, but we'll try it out. Dismember is good against their Ragavans, potentially, and their Shredders, so I guess we want Dismember. It's not fantastic, though. 1-for-1-ing isn't the best in this matchup. Fire Spout seems good against Seasoned Pyromancer and possible Magus, so we'll bring that in. We can trim a couple Cobras, as they do just die to removal, which is not necessarily the worst, but they also are weak to our own Fire Spouts, so that's part of the reasoning. We can maybe trim Azusa. I don't think we're going to need to have Azusa as a pack target. We'll just pack for Grazer if we have to. Cavern of Souls seems like it could be relevant. Not 100% sure. Honestly, trimming Amulet is debatable in this matchup, because they could just kill it with, like, Kolaghan's Command. Or they could bring in, you know, things that can hit artifacts. Like Chattering Spree, or I don't know. I don't know what else they would have. There's a lot of things I just can't think of them right now. Teferi is arguably good, except for the case where it gets Spell Pierced, but I think it's probably fine. Knight is weird, but the fact that it gets Bajuka Bog instant speed is probably worth it. I guess we don't want Sigarda. The other Cobras. We need the Stomping Ground since we're going to be Fire Spouting, hopefully. Maybe we just don't want Dismembers that much. I think I'm okay with being off Dismember, and we can trim a Summoner's Pact, I guess. Since they could, I don't know, drown in the locket or something. Rather just draw actual factual Titan like that. We have turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Grazer Explorer. Seems pretty good. This hand is lacking a second bounce land, but I mean, otherwise it's about as perfect as we can ask for. We could just get Persist comboed depending on what they're trying to persist back, but if they have a discard spell here, they should actually take the Explorer, by the way. No discard spell is fine with me. The third Grazer's not the most fantastic top deck, I'm not gonna lie. But we're definitely gonna shock in this Breeding Pool and Grazer. Arguably, we should be putting in the Stomping Ground, so if we top deck an Amulet, then we can combo off and get Titan, and let's see, that would be 3, 4, 5. So, like, 2 turns from now, which I guess is technically correct, so we're going to be exploring next turn anyways. So, if we want to leave Bounce Land and play second land drop and Grazer again, we can, but this is better if we draw Amulet. So let's explore and get it spell pierced. No? Oh, another bounce land's fantastic. All right, we'll play the Sanctuary since it fixes our mana. And now I guess we are just going to go ahead and grazer out our bounce land as we have Titan mana as is. So pick up the Stomping Ground, I guess. Can't play it, but we have Titan next turn, so yeah. Our opponent could just have an answer for it, but never know. I didn't see a lot of counterspells in their deck, but I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to what they put in the graveyard, to be honest. So just holding up interaction here. I mean, I feel like if we're casting Titans now, unless we're like trying to find like a Knight of the Reliquary or Teferi to cast to make them counter something before we cast the Titan, but waiting also just gets the Titan discarded, so I'm just going to slam the Titan here. And if they have the counterspell, they have it, and we can just top deck after that, so... Oh, they don't have it. Okay. That's fantastic. So I guess we're just chaining Titans here, getting T-West, blue bounce land, picking up the T-West. Would consider bogging them, but they don't have anything relevant as of right now, so probably doesn't matter. I guess, yeah, just Simic T-West seems fine to me. And we will pick up the T-West. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we pick up the T-West, then we won't actually have transmute mana. I think this is the best we can do, though. And we'll pass. I guess if we draw an untap land, we could still transmute, pact, cast Titan this upcoming turn. They still have to deal with this Titan, so... Kolaghan's Command. Well, was right to be playing around that. They make themselves discard Archon. That is a pretty sick play, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty cool. I don't know if we're currently beating Archon or not, to be honest. I think Titan probably races it, I think. Yep, they persist that guy back. It will discard our... Maybe it's just Explorer, because we can transmute for Sunhome and try to get through with our double striking Titan if they can't kill it. They have sorcery, instant, artifact land, so they do have Unholy Heat mana here, unfortunately. They're getting in another attack, and if they have an extra removal spell for Grazen, it's bad. I think maybe we just discard Explore here, just in case we need the Sanctuary for something. We just have to hope our Titan goes the distance. They get to take our Grazer, which we kept to play around removal spell on the remaining Grazer, but... Amulet. Well, that means we don't have to transmute for Sunhome, so that's good. We play Amulet, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so we can Titan and then attack with both Titans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. That was a pretty good top deck. Yeah, now that we're attacking with 2 Titans, we're probably racing Archon pretty easily, I would say. Just gotta make sure we float the blue mana here. And we'll pick up, I guess, just Sanctuary. Try to keep bounce land in hand if at all possible. Yep. Yep, definitely being able to cast a second Titan here is very good. And we win the match. All right. So we are now 1-0, and I will see you guys for match 2. Alrighty, let's hop in here for the second match. On the play. Love it, love it, love it. We got a turn 1 Amulet hand. We got Explore for some ramp. This is everything I want and more from an Amulet hand, so we're absolutely keeping. And again, we have a situation where we can fetch a Breeding Pool in order to fix our mana perfectly. So now we have Knight and Teferi covered. Although, to be honest, if we lead on Stronghold, we can fetch for Triome and have literally perfect mana. I think, given that we're on the play, it's probably fine not to lead on Grazer, because if our opponent has Ragavan, we can just play Grazer on turn 2. We definitely want to play around discard and get our Amulet out. The question is, do we want to fetch or not? And I think the answer is no. There's not really a reason to, so... Unless we were, like, playing as Blood Moon and we wanted to fetch a basic forest, perhaps, but we can still rectify that, you know, if we, just play Misty Rainforest. Our opponent says, seriously, question mark? 3rd Amulet deck in a row. Well, I assure you, opponent, that this is not going to be your typical Amulet matchup. Although, currently our hand kind of looks like it is, but... Grief. Exiling Obnixilis, the 3-mana one. 3 mana, 3 loyalty, casualty X. So it'll make a copy of itself if they sacrifice a creature, and the copy has a loyalty, starting loyalty X. This card is way too much text. I'm not going to read it. If you want to go back and read that, then you can pause it right there, and hopefully it will never be relevant. A Malcure Rebirth to take all of our cards. And, yeah, we're just going to fetch Triome here and, you know, do the thing. I think we're not going to have enough resources to cycle Triome, so... And we did draw a spell that just gets griefed away. Oh, well, they're not rebounding. I was thinking this was Ephemerate, so I guess actually it's good to have a spell here. We'll play Sanctuary and pick up the Sparas. There is a possibility we eventually cycle it, but I don't know how likely that is, but at least playing out the Sanctuary means we can cast Knight, so that'll be cool. We do have 1 fetch land in the graveyard already, so we got a 3/3 Knight. Value. Opponent's playing black-red Griefemerate type stuff, although I guess there's probably not any Ephemerates, I don't know. Dash Ragavan. Okay. Sure. I wonder if our opponent's Amulet matchup is good or not, to be honest. Alright, let's get our Knight into play. Play Sparas, and now we have Titan mana next turn, if we top deck it, of course, so. We can always Knight away our Sparas to go get a T-West, and then transmute for Summoner's Pact, if we have to. That plays straight into discard, but opponent says, okay, slightly different. I'll give him the old tongue face. :P. Seasoned Pyromancer. Discarding land. I mean, I'm happy for that. We can't block because of the Menace, so that's a fake lighting up of the Knight. Explorer could still let us Titan if we draw it, so Titan? Amulet. So if we play that, float with Sparas, sacrifice, get T-West, we'll have 3 floating, Simic up to 7. Oh, we get 2 land drops this turn as well. I think that actually does it. Let's see. We get float, get T-West, float 2 more, that's 3. Simic twice is another 8. Yeah, we definitely have Titan here, and I think we may be able to kill them. We'll see. Maybe we can float white with Sanctuary and get Vesuva, Stronghold, Valakut. Not Valakut, just any red land like the Stomping Ground. I think we have it here, actually. We got a 5 to make sure we don't have any yields, and we'll go get our T-West. Wow, this Knight actually did all kinds of work, which is crazy. We'll untap, float, play Growth Chamber. Yeah, drawing that second Amulet was actually freaking insane, too. Pick up T-West, play Sanctuary. We'll leave white floating, and we should be good to go here. Wow. What a crazy line. Okay. Get Summoner's Pact, pack for Titan. Play Titan. Leaving white. Get land that taps for red, being Stomping Ground, and Vesuva copy the Slayers. We would not like to pay 2 life, although I don't think it would actually matter here. It would still enter tapped forcibly thanks to Vesuva, so not really a problem, but, you know. And our opponent is exactly dead to lethal here, so since we can still go get the Boros Garrison and Sunhome here. Very cool. Super lucky top deck. And our opponent scoops it up. Game 2 against black-red Griefemerate shenanigans. I say Griefemerate out of habit, but there may not be any Ephemerates. It might just be, like, Undying effects. So we want Rest in Peace. Probably want Dismembers. Fire Spout for their Magus and Seasoned Pyromancer for sure. Endurance seems good. Tracker seems good. Bog. Debatable? I think Bog is probably not good, but it depends on if they have Persist or not. I'm willing to go without it. We want Foundation Breaker in case of Blood Moon, but maybe not Force of Vigor. Alright, Cobras. I mean, they're okay. I think Explorer is probably better than Cobra, but I don't know. Is Teferi good? It shuts off their, like, Undying effect type things, but Teferi will never really be able to cast under Blood Moon And just casting it after they've already griefed us a couple times, not really where we want to be, so I think we can cut to Fairy. Knight's a fantastic threat and a way to toolbox out what we need, even at low resources, so I like Knight here. Azus is good. Cobra's probably good. I don't think we need 3. We could probably trim 1. Cavern's horrible. What else? Boseiju is probably a good way to play around Blood Moon. We know they have Ragavan, so we want the Grazers. I guess if we have Fire Spout, then Cobra is a lot worse, so we'll trim Cobra again. We can pack for Lotus Cobra if we absolutely have to. Although we might be too low resources to be able to go pack for Cobra to cast Titan. It's not impossible, though. Is Rest in Peace too much? Maybe Rest in Peace is not good. Just stopping the Undying stuff, but as a one-of, it feels like it's not worth it, so... one more cut. What would you cut? Maybe it's a Zusa? I don't know. Packing for Zusa seems relevant. Obviously, Talaria West is quite important here. Could be a Summoner's Pact. I don't hate that. We might just die to our own pact if we get Blood Mooned or Magist, so... On the draw, which is arguably not necessarily a bad thing. We're going to get clocked like crazy, but this hand is not fantastic because we don't have any untapped sources. If I knew for sure we'd be casting Explorer in turn 2, this hand is fantastic, but as is, we have 2 draw steps towards actually casting Explorer. I'm going to gamble it and keep, but I don't think this hand is fantastic. Having Explorer as ramp plus additional resources against a mono discard deck seems very good. And we can pact for an answer to Blood Moon if they have it. Ragavan is worst case scenario, though Verdant Catacombs was our best draw, so let's just hope they don't Grief plus Undying spell us this upcoming turn. And then we might still have a shot, although this Ragavan could just take away the game, so we'll see. Luckily, I feel like right now most of our cards are uncastable for them, pretty much. They could play Grazer and ramp a little bit, and we don't care that much. They can't cast Knight if they hit it. I don't know. I guess if they hit another Explorer, that would be kind of bad for us, since they could cast that, but not a lot of our cards do anything for them, so... Of course, the extra mana always matters, but... See what they hit? Explore. Well, you know, they can cast that one. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Oh, they just Blood Moon us. Yeah. Maybe I should have played turn 1 Verdant Catacombs to play around that. But, you know... Well, I guess now we just have to draw a forest to pack for Answer to Blood Moon, so... And have to not die to this Ragavan as well, so... Yep, that's not fantastic. Now that we know about Blood Moon specifically, since it could have been Magus or Blood Moon, now we'll bring in... They exiled our forest? That's just so rude. Fulminator Mage, we don't really care about that one. They should not use it. They should not use it. Oh, okay, they should use it if they're going to rebirth it, so... Yeah, we don't really care about that at the moment, though, to be honest, so... Yeah, we'll play another Growth Chamber and pass. Yeah, the fact that they just hit one of our 3 forests with a freaking Ragavan, not fair. Absolutely unfair. Yeah, we definitely bring in force against these Blood Moons now. Summoner's Pact. Cast it. Cast it. Bet you won't. They kill our Growth Chamber, sure. That literally doesn't matter at this point, but... Just hard cast Fury. Yeah, they don't have to target anything. Forest? Oh, okay. So we explore, put in Sanctuary. Next turn, play Gruul Turf. I feel like we have to... I feel like we have to make some more land drops before we kill this Blood Moon, so I think I'm just going to explore here. Okay, now that we have a threat to play after we get the Blood Moon out of play, it's probably worth just packing to kill this, but... I don't know, how many lands do we have in our graveyard? A lot, right? Thanks to the stupid Fulminator Mage. It's a 4/4 Knight, so it still just trades with a Fury, but... Next turn we get to play Gruul Turf. Pack for Answer, kill the Blood Moon. Exile Growth Chamber. We did find one of our forests. Oh, I wonder if they take Summoner's Pact here with the Grief. Lotus Cobra. That one's pretty decent, actually. So we play Cobra. Play Gruul Turf. Oh, they did take the pact. Play Cobra, Gruul Turf, Explorer. And then Chump. Yeah, we'll still be dead there, so we need to find... I don't know what we need to find. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see what we can do here, but probably dead. Probably dead. Our opponent still has to attack, but I feel like they're going to attack, so... Explore. Grazer. That does it! That does it, since we can actually cast that. Lotus Cobra coming in clutch here. And next turn, we can actually Titan if we find any land. So, I mean, we're not dead. Okay, pass back. We can actually play Titan into Knight, thanks to our Cobra as well. If we can keep it alive. I think we have to trade Cobra, though. Yeah, we're going to be trading Cobra with Ragavan, so... Unless they have, like, a burn spell here, which they could. What are they doing here? Red mana. Second Blood Moon, okay. Yeah, and now we're actually dead. Well, at least we had a way to survive an extra turn there. That was kind of cool. Alright, so against mono Blood Moons, we want Force, obviously. Cobra becomes a lot better against potential Blood Moons as well, so definitely trimming on Explorer in favor of Cobra. Although, honestly, maybe Knight is the cut, since we probably can't cast it underneath a Blood Moon, so probably just having mono Explorers and Cobra is better. Fire Spout looking fantastic there. Dismember, not really, but, I mean, it might be a necessary evil. We can trim an Amulet, perhaps. Actually, Amulet's too good if they don't have Moon and we're trying to answer it, so... Do we want the 4th Summoner's Pact? I feel like we probably do. Just go 0 Dismember. Sure. Be on the play. Well, this hand is not getting Blood Moon, that's for sure. I am going to keep it, actually. Heck yeah, just mono forests. Would have been funnier if this Explorer was a Grazer, so that their turn 1 Grief plus Malakir Rebirth combo gets them 0 cards. As is, they'd take Explorer, but, you know, I can't complain too much. Gonna play Breeding Pool on 1. They mull to 6. Then mulliganing is good for us. Especially if they're mulliganing to Blood Moon. Look at this beautiful hand. Me staring at 6 lands Explorer. What a beautiful hand! Crazy, right? Explorer is just secretly the best card in the deck. They're gonna go turn 1 Ragavan and we're gonna cry. Black. Thoughtseize. Take Explorer, I guess. Hey, now we draw the Grazer. Interesting. Well, Grazer. I'm actually just going to put in all of our Forest here and not play Growth Chamber out because it's better against Fulminator Mage and Blood Moon to just wait on the Growth Chamber. So, if we put in Growth Chamber, picked up the Breeding Pool, and then played a land, they could just blow up our Growth Chamber, with Fulminator Mage and set us back a billion turns. So, no real reason to do that. I guess this is also technically better if we top deck Amulet, but Ragavan. 3rd Growth Chamber, huh? Deck is being very insistent. Well, there's still no reason to play one, so we'll just play Forest and pass. I mean, at this point, we basically just want to top deck Titan. They terminate Grazer. You love to see it. Love to see it. They hit our Fire Spout. That's funny. Another Grazer! Yes! This is exactly what we wanted. Other than a Titan. But this is probably better than just drawing Titan there. As now we can top deck the Titan, and they can't Thoughtseize it or Grief it away from us. So, pick up Forest, of course. And we'll play... Let's see. If we play Simic and pick up a land, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they Fulminator us, we won't be able to cast Titan. Whereas if we play Forest, they Fulminator us. It's still the same. So, probably okay to just play Simic here. I'm going to pick up Breeding Pool. The reason being that if we want to have something as discard fodder to Kolaghan's Command, Breeding Pool is the best one since our Forest is live under Blood Moon conditions and our bounce land enables Talaria West. Picking up a basic Forest and having to pitch it to Kolaghan's Command would be actively horrible, so there's Fulminator Mage, which we can't really play around, sadly. Undying Malice. Yeah, being able to just hit both of our growth chambers pretty horrible for us there, but, you know, Explorer is a fantastic top deck. Like I said, I will always take Explorer. Boom. Much better than Knight of the Reliquary would have been, right? Lotus Cobra. Okay. Are we playing Growth Chamber? That plays into a another Fulminator Mage or Unearth. I think if we play these two, we can actually play the Lotus Cobra this turn anyways, so we'll do this. It plays around Fulminator Mage as well, so... We did get punished for picking up the Breeding Pool, but I still think it was the right play. One away from Titan mana, sadly. Blood Moon. Look at how much Blood Moon is doing. Now we could play Titan, actually. And we'll play out the Simic, I guess. Float a black. Hell yeah. Right, and we'll pass. Do swing and trade with Ragavan. I think we do not, as Lotus Cobra enables us to transmute Tolaria West if we find a Tolaria West. Although that'll take a while, but Fulminator Mage. It also plays around Fulminator as well, so that's nice. I wonder if they're just going to kill our Growth Chamber. It won't stop us from casting Titan since we have land and then the Lotus Cobra makes second mana, so... Well, we don't want to get our Sun Home killed by Fulminator, so we'll just play out Verdant Catacombs and pass. We still just want to top deck Titan. Anytime we can top deck Titan would be fantastic with me, I'm just saying. Sadly, we don't have any more basic force to search for, so we'd just be searching for things that'll probably get Fulminator Maged. Oh no, Malachir Rebirth. Okay, well, this actually still doesn't stop us from having Titan mana thanks to Lotus Cobra, so Lotus Cobra doing a lot of work, actually. Yes, they're playing land destruction over there, but, I mean, we've got so many live draws here. Tolaria West. I mean, if we can find a way to play multiple lands in a turn, that will be good enough. We're definitely not playing it, and we're not playing out the Sun Home, I don't think, either. Not attacking. Our Lotus Cobra is way more valuable than this Ragavan. Obviously. Lily. That one really sucks. Oh, we're making us discard, huh? Well, we'll discard the Sun Home. Yeah, definitely discard Sun Home here. Alright, Titan off the top. Any single time, ever. Even one time. Amulet. That's a card we're going to discard to Liliana of the Veil. Ugh. Okay, well, we'll just pass. Just never ever top decking the Titan when we literally have Titan mana rolled up. Frustrating. Pitch the Amulet, of course. Ugh, where is the Titan? Where are you hiding? We might have to start swinging with Cobra at our opponent's Liliana and offering the trade, just so that we don't get ulted. Which really, really, really sucks, but... I mean, it is what it is. I guess... Grief, sure. It does nothing. Still have Titan if we top deck it. Titan. Come on, one freaking time. Titan. Yes! Finally! Okay. Yeah. How are we doing this? We have to cast Titan pre-combat. It's not an option. And we have to swing at the Liliana as well, so play. This is the last possible turn to top deck Titan, so I'm glad that we finally found it. Here it is. And now we gotta put in lands that we will find useful if our opponent's Blood Moon happens to disappear somehow. We have Boseiju we could draw at some point. So we probably want Garrison Slayers. Sun Home's already gone. Garrison Slayers works. Putting another TOS in play doesn't do anything. We already used Breeding Pool, but we still have Spars that we could fetch for if we need double blue for T-West. So I feel like Garrison Slayers is the best. That's what I'm going to go for. Maybe Garrison and Simic Growth Chamber would have been better, but we got to swing at the Liliana so that they can't just Lily ult us. I mean, they're going to be able to do that anyways, but whatever pile has Primeval Titan is the pile that we will keep, so. That's, oh no, I guess we can't lose our Summoner's Pack trigger, so. See how they split it here. We have to keep the pile that has enough lands to... Oh wait, they can split it so that we can't possibly win here. Right? As long as neither pile has packed mana, right? Yeah, this pile kills us, so... Should be dead here. We were one turn too late, actually. I said that was the last possible turn, but we have to be able to pay for pact, so... We'll sacrifice our pile with Grazer and keep our Titan in play, and then lose immediately. Unfortunate. Well, we are 1-1. Sometimes you just don't draw the Titan, and that was a perfect example of it there. The Lotus Cobra looking pretty impressive there, though, not gonna lie. Helping us play through Blood Moon a lot more than any card usually would let us. For what it's worth, I think we may have been able to win that game if we had a 4th basic forest, which is something that I feel like every Amulet Titan list should be running. We definitely would have searched for it off of our Titan ETB. Alrighty, let's hop in here for match 3. And we finally have a clunker hand, so we're going to mulligan this. Yeah, this gets a turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Explore, so we'll absolutely keep this. Bottoming a Summoner's Pact, I guess. We need all of our lands. And we need the ramp from Explore as well, so... Basic Forest. Amulet. Oh, so we're in Mirror, huh? Well, Pseudo-Mirror, I suppose you could say. We'll definitely shock in Stomping Ground, Grazer. And I guess we'll Vesuva the Stomping Ground. This way we can still play Azusa or something along those lines. I guess it's literally just Azusa. There's no Dryads here. We could play Azusa next turn if we wanted to. And explore. But this doesn't use up our bounce land since we still want to have bounce land available if we top deck Amulet, so... Like that. Exactly like that, yeah. Alright, let's explore here. Although, we're probably just a tad slower than our opponent. Teferi? Sadly, there's no way we can cast that. We'll play Amulet, play Sanctuary, pick up the Vesuva, and have Titan this upcoming turn, but sadly, our Titan is going to be strictly worse than our opponent's, since we're not going to have access to Dryad like them, so... Their Titan might just be able to kill us on the spot. Our Titan will never be able to do that to them, so we'll basically just always be searching the one Boseiju that we weren't originally playing, but we will need it, so... Teferi's an interesting one in this matchup. I don't know if it's good or bad. It bounces Saga, which is very good. It bounces Amulet and Dryad, which are... Bouncing Amulet is almost useless. Bouncing Dryad can be good. Bouncing Saga is very good, though. I don't know if Teferi is where we want to be. Probably boarding out Teferi in this matchup, I would assume. Yep. So they're tightening. They should get Valakut Slayers, float white with a forest red, haste Titan, get Valakut Vesuva, and that's exactly what they're doing, so I'm just going to go ahead and... I'll let them show us the second Valakut and either Vesuva or fetch land. They may not have it, you never know. We'll, absolutely will be blocking the Dryad, because we can't give our opponent the dignity of killing our Grazer. Alright, now, we're just going to concede, because we're dead here. Waste of time. They had everything... Which is, that's not me being salty or me saying that they got lucky. That's just how the deck works. So we'll bring in our hate for Saga and Amulet. Bring in Dismembers for the Dryad, since we need this asymmetry. We need this to break the asymmetry, I should say. And that's basically all we have. So we cut our slow stuff, which involves these 6 cards. I guess we keep it Teferi because it can bounce Saga. Yeah, I am down with that. Maybe the second Teferi is better than the one Cavern, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, this hand's fantastic. Turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Lotus Cobra, turn 3 Grazer into Titan. Seems good. Seems very good. Of course, that is potentially ruined if our opponent has an answer to our Amulet. Maybe we're supposed to Grazer out a bounce lane on one here to play around Force. Definitely getting basic Forest. We play Amulet next turn. We play Bounce Land, Cobra, Grazer, and a land. I guess if we top deck exactly second Amulet, it's better to lead on Amulet here. Is that even true? If we Grazer out, bounce land, pick up, we can play... We can tap for... We can tap the Forest and Simic that are going to be in play for 3, play Amulet, play land, float 4. Yeah, I guess we just have to lead on Amulet here in case we top deck second Amulet. Although we're not going to be able to... Actually, because of our Cobra, we might have been able to kill them with double Amulet there. Let's see. So we have 3, 4, 5. Let's see. If we go Simic, play Cobra, Grazer, that's 3. Grazer down to 2. Put in Bounce Land. Another 3 is up to 5. We're just short of Titan here, actually, by 1. Play Simic, play Cobra. Pick up Simic. Play Grazer, play Simic. 1 from Cobra, 2 from Simic. Grazer, yeah, that would put us up to exactly 5, which is 1 freaking short of a turn 2 Titan here. Sad. Okay, well, we'll play, I guess, Boros. Always yield since we don't have second Amulet yet. Pick up the Forest, play Cobra, and pass. And we should have Titan this upcoming turn pretty easily. Yeah, even only 1 Grazer would allow us to Titan this upcoming turn. Opponent says, interesting. Yep. I can't take credit. This is all from the mind of Doozay. So, Explorer is actually plus mana here, thanks to Cobra plus Amulet. Is there anything that we can do here that we wouldn't usually be able to? I guess we probably start on Land Explorer. I think that's a pretty safe place to start, so... We'll float green here. I think green is the in-demand color. Bounce land is interesting. Okay, let's see. So we have 3, 4, 5. Grazer down to 4. Bounce land up to 7. Base Titan. I mean, we're probably just searching for Boseiju and killing the Saga, I would think. Yeah. Nothing too crazy here. Just gonna put some lands into play, make Titan happen, you know, the drill. How it gonna be. We'll make green. Pick up Forest, I guess. We'll Pact. Get Titan. Leaving white floating. Slayers produces all the mana needed by itself. Yes. If we get TOS Bounce Land, that'll be 5 mana. Grazer down to 4, Bounce Land up to 7 with the Cobra. So we can't double Titan here. Not that it would really matter. So I guess we're just going to haste off of Slayers and go ahead and get... I guess... If we get T-West... Interesting. No, I guess we get Boseiju now? If we get T-West, we can float a green, Grazer and Bounce Land, and transmute T-West immediately. So it's probably the most efficient use of our mana. I think that's the play. Sorry, I'm not super used to all these lines with Cobra. So we'll float a green with the Cobra. We'll Grazer. Put in Simic. Float blue. Float with the TOS, pick it up. We'll Slayers our Titan. And transmute T-West immediately. To get another Pact. And then we'll attack. And get Boseiju and a Bounce Land. And kill our opponent's Saga. And then we probably can't lose from here. Imagine if we weren't playing Boseiju here. We'd be actually in a decent amount of danger. So we'll get Boseiju and... I guess Growth Chamber. So we have double blue already in play. Float green. Float with Boseiju as well, because why not? We'll immediately kill this Saga here. I don't know if there's anything else we could have done that turn, but I feel like I used it as efficiently as I could have, so I feel like we got a lot of progress done that turn. We played Titan, hasted it, transmuted Tolaria West, and Boseju'd all on turn 3 thanks to Lotus Cobra, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I think I do like Teferi over the Cavern, I think. Not super clear, but it's probably worth it. I think that's the only change we really want to make. Lotus Cobra as a way to kind of destabilize the mirror a little bit and give us a bit of an advantage, since we'll always have tons of mana available, is kind of nice. Turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Temple Garden Cobra, turn 3 Cobra Bounce Land would be up to 4 mana. I mean, this hand looks like it's doing more busted things than it is, but yeah, I'm not getting rid of this hand. Are you crazy? Especially since Amulet will never kill our Lotus Cobras. It just will never happen. Unless they get Valcut in play, I guess. Another land of any sort is actually fantastic here, so... Imagine if we had Force here. It would be so good. Yep. Sparas. I mean, we're probably dead this upcoming turn, but there's nothing we can really do about it, so I guess we're playing Sparas and Lotus Cobra. Yay! Our opponent's turn 1, turn 2 were much better than our turn 1, turn 2. I will say that. We don't even have Titan next turn. There's no permutation of cards that lets us do it, so we just have to hope our opponent doesn't have Titan here. Yeah, fat chance that that's going to happen. But, you know. I guess they could leave themselves dead to Boseiju, potentially. As if we could get a Boseiju off the top in one card. But, you know. We're not taking Valka triggers this turn, so... Another Dryad. Bounce land. Is this Cultivator, perhaps? This is not the same bounce land, by the way. This is Sanctuary. So they have Gruul Turf in hand and 2 unknowns, I think. They have Titan as well. Yeah, they have Titan. No, they have Colossus. Dies immediately. Oh, man, you love Colossus. Whew, that is a lot of value that our opponent just got. Slayer's Stronghold as well. I'm really glad their Colossus died on ETB, because otherwise it by itself might represent enough to kill us, but our opponent's got the Dream over there. It's going off with Colossus. Now, my personal opinion is that Colossus with double Amulet and 1 bounce land is probably enough to just win on the spot. 2 bounce lands makes it guaranteedly lethal, in my opinion, so I'm kind of just waiting to see how this plays out, because I'm curious what our opponent's got, but as soon as they show us a single threat of any sort, like, if they just showed us a Summoner's Pact here, then I would concede, but... I put Pact, ? In the chat. If they have the Pact, I will scoop it up. This amount of mana seems fine, right? Yeah, there's no way our opponent is not killing us here. They would have to have drawn, like, Grazer, 3rd Amulet, or something like that. They did put the 2 Slayer's Strongholds on the bottom, and their Sun Home is, I guess, a floating mana. Interesting. Also, they did not hit Valakut, which is very nice for us. Any threat, and I'm done with this game. Any threat. Turn Timber may not hit. Okay, no, it hit. Of course. Alright. Well, that was a match against the Mirror, and I think that our opponents are probably well-positioned in the Mirror because of the fact that Dryad gives them the threat of Valakut, and Lotus Cobra is a little slower than Dryad in general, so in this particular case, it was like, you know, our Lotus Cobras were actually better than Dryad since we didn't have Bounce Land, but that's not the usual case. Regardless, that makes us a 1-2, and I will see you guys in match 4, actually. Also, for what it is worth, we're not playing a Colossus. That's one of the cuts that we're making for our extra threats and like Knight of the Reliquary and Teferis and whatnot. And having access to Colossus is good against the Solitude matchups, so there is a little bit of a loss there, but I figured it's worth mentioning. Alright, let's hop in here for match 4. See if we can get a little bit closer to salvation here. On the play, fantastic. Of course, what I mean by that is if we manage to go 3 and 2, we can get our league value back. This hand is fantastic, by the way. Any bounce land, this is a turn 2 Titan, so yeah, we love that. Probably supposed to fetch here to make sure that we have one less non-bounce land draw in the deck, as minuscule as it might be. And I'm going to get a breeding pool because I think our life total will probably not matter here. Either we'll draw the bounce land and we'll win, or we won't and we won't. So, might as well set up TUS mana just in case. I guess our opponent could also like discard our second amulet or something, which would leave this hand pretty devastated. No, don't do it. Birds. Whew. Alright, bounce land. Bounce land and we win. Bounce land and we win. Let's go. Come on, bounce land. It's not a bounce land. Well, we can Amulet and Explore here and hope to hit a bounce land off the Explorer, since we get two mana off of our Stomping Ground. Although I guess we get 2 off of our Misty as well, don't we? Yeah, we fetch for Triome. Yeah, we'll do that. Again, we're just trying to hit this bounce land. Misty, sack. I'm not playing around our opponent having mainboard Mages of the Moon. They're probably playing Yawgmoth over there. I haven't said that yet, but it's what I'm thinking. Float a green. Bounce land. Yes! Yes! There's justice in the world. Heck yeah. We can double Titan here since we have Azusa as well, so super exciting stuff going on. So Azusa's going to make another 8 mana from our 2 Growth Chamber plays, which is exactly enough to use Titan, leaving 3 floating, to search for Tolaria West and a bounce land, which will give us 6 mana plus the 3 we already had is enough to transmute, and then cast a second Titan. And then our second Titan will get Boros Garrison Slayers and haste and kill our opponents. So I'm only putting the second Titan into play because it's fun and not because we actually need it. Because we could just Boros Garrison double strike, combo kill them with the single Titan, just activate it on the same Titan, and it would still be enough to kill them. But it's just far more fun to put in the second Titan, right? If you could play 2 Titans, why not play 2 Titans? One of the benefits of having Azusa. And we'll go search for our Boros and our Slayers, and our opponent will probably concede to this. Guess not. Yep, now they concede. A little late, but I'll take it. Alright, so against Yawgmoth, we're going to want Sigarda. Fire Spout, specifically Dismember for Magus as well. Rest in Peace is good. Endurance is actually good because it can snipe their combo creatures from the graveyard, like with the Undying triggers on the stack, so I like Endurance. Tracker is interesting as an out to Necromentia, but I guess for that we have Sigarda anyway, so it's fine. Don't love Teferi here. Or Knight either, since both of these are hard to cast through Magus, and they don't really do anything, so against our opponent at least. And speaking of not doing anything, we can cut Cavern. And just call it a day. Sure. Yep. Lotus Cobra and Dismember and Fire Spout all help us play through Magus in a very wonderful way, so that's nice. And this hand has Rest in Peace to interact with the combo. It has Lotus Cobras to ramp and Dismember to deal with Magus, so we're definitely keeping. We don't get to play our Rest in Peace until turn 3, but, well, we'll play Basic Forest, I guess. Not sure it matters. Yeah, this Dismember is hitting literally only Yawgmoth or Magus of the Moon and nothing else, so. I guess Fetchland will let us play turn 2 Rest in Peace, which would be pretty good. I mean, we don't have to land this Rest in Peace ASAP fast, but they played out Boseiju. Oh, opponent. Little do you know. Outland Liberate. Well, that also kills Rest in Peace, sadly, but Sparas. Alright, well, we'll just play our Cobra here, and, yeah. If our opponent has Magus, we'll just be able to Dismember it and, you know, move on with our life. In fact, we'll be able to play Sanctuary, Dismember it, and then use Sanctuary to play Rest in Peace. And also play second Cobra, so, you know. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that that would be a really fun turn to play out. They transform Frenzied Trap Breaker to 3/3. Kind of annoying, actually, but, you know. I mean, we're not playing out Rest in Peace, I guess, for no reason, because they would just die to them attacking with this. So, I guess we can make the mana to not transmute, but cycle Sparas. Even by playing Cobra, we get to play Bounce Land, float 2 with Cobra, play Grazer, put another land, have 3 not transmute to cycle. I mean, I'm down. This ramps us and lets us do the cycling. Cobra looking fantastic here, by the way. Making our opponent's Frenzied Trap Breaker look horrible. Love it, love it. Make green, and then we'll Grazer and make another 2 green. Also, I think our Grazer is supposed to put in our Sanctuary. I'm not sure. Definitely picking up, I guess, Forest. So they can't Necromantia this. Although that seems like it would be a waste to me, but we'll Grazer. If we put in Sanctuary and they Magus us, then we'll be kind of sad. But if they don't Magus us, play land. If they don't Magus us, it'll let us play Titan this upcoming turn. So I think we are supposed to put in Sanctuary. Unfortunately, we'll make green, and we'll cycle this. Amulet. A little late on that one, but, you know, better late than never, they say. We'll pass. Not attacking into their 3/3 for literally no reason. I guess this also flips their Trap Breaker back, right? It's going to make it a 2/2 again, since we cast multiple spells. I think that's how it works. Oh, they're courting for Dryad Arbor? Hard way to do it, but I respect it. I mean, if they're missing land drops, I guess they have to do that, right? They did have to flip back their thing. Grist, sure. Kill a Cobra. So we'll still have Titan mana, so that's fine. No, they don't even kill a Cobra. Yeah, I guess it's about time for Rest in Peace. Being able to get this stupid Grist out of play would be fantastic. Probably have to dismember this Outland Liberator. The Rest in Peace invalidates the Yawgmoth anyways, so... Alright, we'll play... I guess we could Slayers and Haste as well. Interesting. Haste Grazer, and then we get to dismember this and kill Grist even if they trade with a Cobra. That seems good to me. So we play Stronghold, float red, float white, green. 2 more, play Amulet, Rest in Peace. Wait, hold on. We need to be able to dismember here too. Oh, we're getting 2 from the Cobra, so this should be fine. We want white, red. Float 2, play Amulet off of a... wait. Off of a green. We'll haste Grazer. Float 2, Rest in Peace, dismember the Liberator. And we had exactly enough here thanks to Lotus Cobra being freaking awesome. I guess Trigger on the stack will just kill us now. And now we just swing at Grist and get it out of here. Gone. We're trading a Cobra for an insect, but way better. We're basically trading a Cobra for a Grist, which is a worthy trade. I assure you it's a worthy trade. See if our opponent wants to sack the insect or not. Take that, Grist. Get out of here. This game is shaping up really well. I'm actually super impressed so far. We still have Titan mana. Just like chilling here, ready to go. Yep, Grist is gone. A sentence I love to say out loud. Our opponent is down to 2 lands and a Dryad Arbor. Oh, they have Force of Vigor. Okay, that kind of sucks, but it also doesn't hurt us that much, thanks to Lotus Cobra being fantastic. In fact, we can still haste our Titan. We play Forest, float of mana, leave the Slayers untapped, play Titan, get any 2 lands, and then haste it, so... value. Okay, Explorer, fight us with Primeval Titan, please and thank you. Primeval Titan. Let's go. Titan. Summoner's Pact. Verdant is not quite that. Okay, well... Shock Stomping Ground, float a white. Haste our Cobra. And we'll attack with our hasted Cobra. And I guess we play out the Forest anyways. I don't see a reason not to. I guess shocking was kind of useless there if we're going to play another land, but, you know, it's whatever. We would be at 16 instead of 15, so that actually is technically relevant, but our opponent is very far from Yogg combo here. We still just need to find a Titan. Let this not be a repeat of the earlier match where we needed to find a Titan and just couldn't find it until it was already too late. Let's just find Titan this upcoming turn. Like, right now, let's go. Just Titan. And no Necromentia. Opponent is not allowed to Necromentia us. Not allowed, not permitted. They can't do it. Although I guess we still have Sigarda in that case. So, like, we're not just completely losing if that happens, but and we did bring in Sigarda, so man, they did Necromentia. And you mean we couldn't even get the 2/2 by having Titan in hand? It's not like Surgical where you don't want to have the card in hand. With Necromentia, we actively want to have the card in hand. It did hit all of our Titans. Not fair. Not fair. But luckily, we'll just draw Summoner's Pact and put Sigardas into play. And then next, Necromentia does nothing. Sorry to tell you, opponent. Sigarda don't care. Alright, Sigarda off the top. Summoner's Pact. Talari West. There's so many good draws. Any of them, any one of our good draws. That's not one of them. Alright, well, I mean, I don't want to trade our Cobra now. I guess we're attacking with a Grazer. Sure. Make a white. Haste Grazer. Pick up basic forest, I guess. It's day, guys. Swing 3. I mean, are we supposed to trade with the Dryad Arbor? Getting a creature and a land out of play is actively good for us. And we can still fetch Shock Breeding Pool. We fetch Shock Breeding Pool, transmute. We still have, or we'll be one short of Titan. So I guess we want to hold off on the Cobra for one more turn. And then after we get our forest back into play, then we're good to trade our Cobra off if we want to. We now are at a higher life total than our Yogg opponent, which is nice. Is this Necromentia number 2? Oh, it's a Yogg. That's pretty bad for us. I guess now they can kill our Cobra, so... Alright, T-West. It's a Summoner's Pact. Sigarda. Oh, they kill our Cobra? Sure. Well, I mean, we wanted to make this trade anyways, just not immediately, because now T-West is not as good a draw. Now the Cobra is not a fantastic draw either, I'm just going to be honest. Okay, well, we'll play Cobra, I guess. Play Forest. Make a white. And we'll haste this thing and attack. If they want to trade Dryad Arbor for it, I'm fine with that, actually, so... Take that! And now we have enough mana to fetch Shock Breeding Pool, Transmute T-West, pack for... I guess we don't have a Titan to play. Now I think about it, so 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'd be one short, I suppose, of... Hasting Sigarda. Grist, sure. Let's our opponent draw extra cards with the Yawgmoth. Ugh, I think we're just going to lose to freaking Yawgmoth. I will block. I'll block. Should we block? Or should we clock Grist or them? Guess we don't block. It's worse against double undying creatures since we'll be at the same life total as them, but that won't last too long. Alright, Sigarda off the top is still very, very good. Blood Artist. Okay. T-West. Well, I don't know if this is going to be good enough, but... Get the Breeding Pool shocked. Transmute. I mean, it's definitely going to be Summoner's Pact, and I guess we have to pact for Sigarda. Yeah, we can make some 1/1s that way as well. I guess we pass then. Make our 1/1 at instant speed. Hopefully the Sigarda will just take over the game and that our opponent does not have freaking Mages of the Moon. Oh, they just get to kill the... They get to kill the Sigarda. We can respond to the sacrifice trigger by activating, so... I don't know. There's not much we could really do here. They just had the things that they needed. Unfortunate. Well, we'll just Titan and kill them in game 3, so... Not a big deal. Blood Artist. Alright, let's make our 1/1 for absolute value. Exiling Verdant Catacombs. How about that? It's got hexproof. Not anymore. Yeah. This is not looking good anymore. I'm going to go ahead and scoop it up because there's no way we can actually win this game from here, so... Okay. Knight of the Reliquary gets Bog at instant speed and is an additional threat, so I actually kind of like Knight here. Don't love Teferi as much. I definitely like Tracker, so we should be bringing that in for sure. We'll have the Bog just for Knight. Kind of debatable, but worth it, I think. Trim 1 Grazer, I think. Trim Boseiju as it doesn't matter. Amulet's actually pretty good here. Explorer's good. Azusa doesn't really matter as much, so we'll trim that. Endurance is fine. Endurance is not fantastic, actually. We'll trim Endurance. 1 more. Guess a Cobra, since it does just die to Yawgmoth. Be on the play, of course. Get turn 2 Explorer, turn 3 Knight. We can even dismember their turn 1 play if we feel like it. I mean, this hand is not super fantastic, but... Does this hand beat Yawgmoth? I don't know that it does. Although, if we mulligan into a hand with Amulet, it just gets Force of Vigored. Or Necromincha'd, so like... I don't know, though. I feel like we need to try to find a more explosive hand. This hand is not significantly more explosive, but it does actually have Summoner's Pact in hand. It's got more lands. I mean, I guess we're keeping this. Bottoming the T-West. That would be bad if our opponent happens to Necromincha Summoner's Pact or something, or like Thoughtseize us, I mean. Then bottom the T-West is kind of bad, but we're a little ways away from T-Westing, so... Again, this Dismember is almost exclusively going to hit Yawgmoth and Magus, so... They do have the Thoughtseize. That's going to take Summoner's Pact. I guess they could take Cobra. Oh, they take Cobra. Sparas. There's a chance we might cycle that. I think it's a pretty small chance, though, so we'll just play this so that we could play a Knight next turn if we wanted to. We actually could pack for a Knight and play it, and then activate Knight in our upkeep, floating a mana to get an untapped source and pay for the Summoner's Pact. That loses to Grist, however. Amulet. That's a pretty good top deck. I guess we're playing Amulet, Misty, Pass. And we're not going to crack the Misty because if we draw second Amulet, Misty represents Titan mana next turn. I guess it does either way, because we play Amulet, play Simic Float 4, so it's probably fine either way, but... I don't know, maybe we should actually be fetching the Misty. Right now we have perfect green-white mana, so I guess we just want to get the Stomping Ground. Messenger is fine. I will always yield to this Messenger trigger. Yield to end step. Well... maybe we're supposed to fetch to thin the deck a little bit. It's extremely inconsequential, though. Fetch better if we draw Lotus Cobra. We play Cobra, play Bounce Land, that's 3, 4, 5. It's not quite enough. Although I guess it is better with Dismember, so we don't have to pay the life. I guess we'll not fetch in case we draw a Cobra. Hey, well, we did draw a Cobra. Interesting. Well, Cobra allows us to Titan this upcoming turn, so I don't think it allows us to Titan this turn. Play Cobra, bounces 3, fetch for another 2 is 5. Yeah, we're 1 short of Titan. I keep finding that to be the case with Cobra lines. We're always like 1 short of Titan. I don't know if that's just how it usually plays out, or if it's like unlucky. But yeah, we'll pass here. We can fetch and have to pay only 2 life for Dismember instead of 4, which is semi-relevant. And we do have the Dismember to interact with Yawgmoth. Although I think that we can't afford to Dismember Yawgmoth if they go for the combo, because they can combo kill us in response. We'll always yield here. I think we can beat Yawgmoth, but it probably involves killing one of the Undying creatures instead of the Yawgmoth. No, actually, I guess Dismember doesn't ever beat Yawgmoth here, because they can always combo in response to Dismember no matter what, so kind of rough. We can't chump here, as we just have to be able to get to Titan this upcoming turn, so... Yeah, I don't know if there's anything we can even do here against a potential Yawgmoth. Against Eldritch Evolution, we actually can beat Yawgmoth, though, because we killed the Geralt's Messenger after it comes back. So this we can beat. They're probably just going to go get Magus here, if they have it. But this is a forced play from us, so we don't really have a choice. Yeah, we can kill the Geralt's Messenger here and not be dead, so... And we do have Titan this upcoming turn. I don't know that we can actually win with it, though, sadly. They do have Yawgmoth. If they kill Cobra, then we don't have Titan here, actually. It's free because they can just sack the Young Wolf, so... I guess now we need Titan, Azusa, or Grazer off the top, or Second Amulet. Second Amulet actually wins. Right, any of those cards. Second Amulet! That's the best draw! That's the best draw! Holy... Now, I don't know how Yawgmoth will interact with our Titan here. It might put a bunch of minus counters on it to stop it from being lethal, but... I mean, literally, there's nothing else we could have top decked that would have been better, so... I guess we'll keep Simic in hand. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's just Titan, and force them to sacrifice their whole board to kill it. I mean, they get to draw all the cards, though, so it's like... And they don't even get to kill the Titan, actually. Yeah, Second Amulet was the most busted top deck we could have there. Force? Oh, no. Oh, no, this is the worst timeline. Although they have no cards left, but that's about to change very quickly. Uh-huh. Well, we don't want to die to our pact. I guess Force is a good pickup. And then... I don't know what else actually matters. I guess Sunhome? Or maybe we just ignore Magus entirely and just go for... I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Force Boros, pick up a breeding pool. Pay... I don't know. Or just T-West. I guess force T-West in case they can kill the Titan. But I don't know. It's a rough way to do it. We're probably losing here now that they had the freaking force. This has been a crazy game. We had the Dismember. So they had the Yawgmoth. We had the Dismember. We had the Titan. No, we had the Amulet and the Titan. And then they had the force. They could still just kill us here, too, which is the really sad thing. They get to draw a bunch of cards, too. If they attack, I think we're supposed to block. They sacrifice 2 things, put counters on it. If we block, they sacrifice 2 things, kill our Titan. We probably can't win from there. I guess we just have to take the damage. Not a fantastic place to be. If they want to get rid of this Titan, they're going to have to do it the hard way. We have to top deck 3rd Amulet. That way we can play Simic, pick up a land, search for Sunhome Boros Garrison, and kill them that way. that is our out. The 3rd Amulet, after having already top decked the obscenely lucky 2nd Amulet. Even then, we still might actually have lethal here, so we'll see. I guess Dismember actually would be decent as well. No, wait, we don't have the colors for it. Yeah, I don't know. They have another Undying creature. They still need a Blood Artist or a 2nd Messenger if they play Dross Messenger. So if they chord for Blood Artist, then we're dead here. That was a strange play. I don't think that was correct. I think they did something odd there. Yeah. They said big oops, I guess. It's okay, they could probably still kill us here. Yep, that screamed a mistake to me, but, I mean, it probably won't matter. Opponent says, honestly, don't know what I'm doing. Well, they've been playing well up until this point, so I'm sure that's a joke. Uh-huh. They could still find Dross Messenger or Chord, and we'd still... No, I guess, now that they don't have the 2nd Undying creature, I don't know. They might have just punted the game away. They now need 2 more creatures that they can play this turn. And they'd have to sacrifice them to kill the Titan and leave themselves with just Yawgmoth in play. Hey, this Urborg lets us potentially top deck Dismember. Okay. Yeah, we're still back to being potentially dead to Chord or Blood Artist, so. Activating Yawgmoth again. Yeah, they can bounce back and forth here to draw a little bit. Grist. Now that one's pretty good. Yeah, now we're definitely dead. So, we'll scoop it up to that. Well, unfortunately, losing to Yawgmoth is just the typical thing from the Amulet Titan side. It's a very difficult matchup, so... Well, we are now a 1-3, which is not the most fantastic record, but we have played against some difficult matchups. The Yawgmoth and Black-Red decks seem like matchups that are very difficult for Amulet, because Black-Red just they just discard all your cards to, get rid of your synergy, stop you from having early Titans, and then they slam a Blood Moon and you lose. And against Yawgmoth, obviously they have lots of ways to kill us. They can Necromentor our Titan, they can just combo with Yawgmoth, they have Grist to interact with our stuff, so Yawgmoth is a nightmare matchup, and the Black-Red Blood Moon deck is probably close to a nightmare matchup as well. So, see what we can do in the last match here. Alrighty, final match time. What will it be? On the play, of course. Got Amulet. No green sources. We could Vesuva our opponent's land. This might be crazy, but I feel like this is a mulligan. It depends on if our opponent's playing green or not, but even then we still need a bounce land or other lands. I feel like it's okay to mulligan this. Now, this hand's a little bit better, actually. It's slow, but it's better. We'll keep it and get rid of one of these fetches, I guess. Fetch for the Spar's headquarters. Our opponent mulls to 5. Could this be Tron? Because if that's the case, this is not a fantastic hand. This hand does not beat Tron, even slightly. Alright, we'll lead on Verdant Catacombs and pass. We're clearly playing Jund midrange opponent, don't worry about it. Blooming Marsh. Birds. Oh no, please not Yawgmoth again. Not another Yawgmoth matchup, I don't need this. Oh no. Alright, let's get our Spar's headquarters. Grazer is a fine pickup. Yeah, we'll play that. Put in our Sanctuary and then play headquarters for turn. Next turn we can Teferi or Knight, depending on what we feel like doing. Definitely replaying the headquarters here, as I don't think we're going to be cycling it. And having perfect mana for these two. Remember when I said that we never have problems actually casting these cards? It's because the mana actually just works out perfectly. Even without Lotus Cobra, I think that it's still reasonable to just splash these cards. As we're already splashing white, and just playing one headquarters is so free. Ignoble. It's definitely freaking Yawgmoth again. Unfortunate. Well, I guess we're playing Knight? Is it Knight? I don't know if that's right. Like, I'm not really sure what Knight actually does for us here. Maybe it's Teferi to try to find Ramp and Titan? I don't know. If we play Teferi, we can block with Grazers, so we're free to minus here. Just slowing them down a little bit seems relevant, so we'll bounce the Ignoble, I guess. Boing. See what card we draw. Amulet would be good. Another Knight. Yeah. Sounds about right. Yeah. I have to admit, in all my time playing this deck, I've not been impressed by Knight of the Reliquary. This has been my least favorite card in the list, personally. Opponent says, oops. I guess they meant to fetch on instep. Excuse me. I don't know what that was. Or maybe they meant to, like, cord or something? I don't know. See if they have Grist. To all our opponent knows, we could be playing some sort of Bant Scapeshift deck or something. We do have Sanctuary in play, though, so, like, our opponent's probably like, what the heck is going on over there? Then they might put us on Tameshi Bloom. That would make sense. Fatal Push Grazer. Do what you gotta do, I guess. They really want this Teferi out of play, which I'm fine with. Fatal Push, though. I guess it's not Yogg. Maybe this is black-green mid-range? With Birds and Ignoble for some reason? I don't know. Fatal Push is an odd one. Weird. Alright, we'll get a tapped Breeding Pool, I guess, for Tolaria West purposes. Now I'm glad they didn't push a Knight. That's fantastic. Play Knight. And I guess we'll play Misty. Sure, because we can still Titan this upcoming turn anyways, if we want to, so... And, if we draw it, of course. Haha! Wasted Fatal Push, opponent. You don't know. You don't even know. Although we don't have mainboard Bog to, like, exile their yard. So we don't really have any recourse against, like, a Tarmogoyf here. Or Undying Creatures, whichever our opponent is playing. I am more likely to say they're on Black-Green Rock with Fatal Push, but... Wall of Roots is very, very Yawgmoth-centric type stuff. So this is probably still a Yawgmoth that just happens to be playing mainboard Fatal Push, which is something I do not understand even slightly. We do have the upside of them maybe not knowing that we're even playing a Primeval Titan deck. I'm actually going to fetch Stomping Ground just to intentionally confuse them, because I think they'll not know what we're actually doing with all these colors. They might put us on Bring the Light or something like that. And I am going to start attacking with this Knight to try to get the game over. Getting them at a lower life total than us, if they are playing Yawgmoth, which is my guess right now, is definitely relevant. Is this a cord? Cord for Dryad Arbor to just chump block, I guess? I don't know. I'm glad they're courting... Oh, Young Wolf? Okay, sure. I'm perfectly happy with that cord, because it wasn't a Yawgmoth. I'm very happy with that, with this exchange right here. Yep. We'll play another Knight. We'll play Forest, I guess, and pass. Don't want to show our opponent Growth Chamber, potentially. They would have to have exactly Undying Creature plus Yawgmoth here. So, like, exactly... I mean, that wouldn't even kill us, to be honest. They could have Yawgmoth... Cord... And even that wouldn't kill us unless they have land. So, like, land, Yawgmoth... No, that would be 3 cards, so they can't do it. I mean, it looks like they have the Yawgmoth. Or is this a cord? I don't know. I'm going to stop trying to anticipate what they're doing, because they're doing some stuff over there that I don't understand. Which, admittedly, is probably exactly what they're saying at this very moment as well. They have a second cord, which is fine. I wonder if they're just going to kill the Knights. I don't know if they could at this point. Are we finally going to win because of Knight of the Reliquary? We will see. I mean, I'm going straight to combat. And then I guess we'll Simic, pick up the Sparas, and then transmute it. I keep saying transmute. I'm too used to Talaria West. Maybe should have done that before we attacked, so that it would be an additional 2 points of damage, but... They block with the Yawgmoth, really. Interesting. So they're going to sacrifice 2 creatures to shrink it? Sure. Okay. I mean, Knight is doing work in this matchup. Not gonna lie. We may not actually get there, depending on if they can find the things they need. Just sacrifice the young wolf. What the heck was all that about? Okay. I guess we want to leave the white floating in case we draw another Knight or like a Teferi, so... We'll do that. Boseiju. Uh-huh. Okay. I mean, we can Boseiju something just to grow the Knights, but... We'll pass for now. Yeah, we could be dead here. It wouldn't be very difficult. Strangleroot, okay. Yeah, Chord 4, Geralt's Messenger wins here. Eldritch Evolution wins here. Blood Artist wins. Wall of Roots does not. They probably should have been sacrificing Strangleroot Geist to try to, you know, put counters on Knight and draw into the Chord or whatever, but, you know, whatever. What am I to know? How am I to know how to play their deck? I think maybe we're supposed to just go ahead and Boseiju something of theirs on their end step, because this Boseiju is otherwise not doing anything, so just to grow our Knight even just by 1, hit their Blooming Marsh. It's gone. Get a land with a basic land type. This does literally nothing, other than putting Boseiju in the yard. Oh, they get Dryad Arbor. Okay, it did something, actually. We'll explore. Slayers. Hey, that means we get to activate a Knight and attack with it, which is fantastic. We'll haste the bigger Knight. And I guess we'll transmute, or we'll probably attack, get T-West, pick it up with Simic Growth Chamber. Seems to make the most sense to me. I am attacking with both here. I don't care if they want to attack me with Strangleroot Geist again. Trying to get this game over with. Gotta get their creatures out of play if at all possible. They block with Wall. Fine by me. They're blocking with Yawgmoth? That cannot be right. How are they going to kill this Knight and not have Yawgmoth die? Okay, we don't want to always yield. And they're also hitting the wrong... Oh, it's protection from humans. Oh, okay, that does make sense. Alright, well, let's Knight away our Stomping Ground for Talaria West. Play Simic Growth Chamber and pick up the Talaria West. Next turn we can transmute and play Titan, I think. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we definitely can. I mean, we could still just be dead any minute. We probably would already have been dead if our opponent was properly just making use of their creatures here. Intentionally undying the Strangleroot Geist, you know, putting minus counters on their Wall of Roots type stuff. It's probably, I mean, I guess we're not really pressuring them that much, so they have time, but they also didn't know that they're playing against Amulet, potentially. Now they see TOS and more bounce lands, they probably know for sure. Ugh, and now they have Messenger, so we're just dead. Yeah, Yawgmoth is... It's a matchup. It's definitely a matchup. All right, we want Sigarda. We want all of these cards. Rest in peace. Bajuka Bog. Actually, I don't think I care for Bog. Yeah, Knight is not where we want to be. Teferi stops them from cording during our turn and bounces something, so I guess it's fine. Cobra is not fantastic. Cavern is meaningless. You can trim a Grazer. Yeah, we'll just trim another Cobra. We'll have one as a pack target, I guess. Don't know how good Teferi actually is, but we'll find out. Be on the play. We might be able to Fire Spout them. We'll definitely keep this. Unfortunately, we can't both set up Fire Spout mana and Teferi mana, but, I mean, I'm gonna set up for Fire Spout, I think. We can always top deck any of our blue sources for Teferi. There's only one Stomping Ground for this Fire Spout, so don't really have a choice here. And also, speaking of don't have a choice, we don't really have a choice but to put our bounce land in play and make mana progress here. Sadly. Luckily, we have Explore as one of our ramp cards, so hopefully it'll find us another bounce land. Ignoble, sure. Endurance. Okay, we'll Explore. Yes, we found the land. Play this and tap Stomping Ground, I guess. And we'll hold Arboreal Grazer as something to pitch to Endurance to free cast it if we have to, I guess. And now we can cast Teferi, so there's that. The question is, are we saving Fire Spout for Magus, or are we just using it when it's value? Like, if they just play another 2 mana creatures here and pass, Fire Spout's probably worth it. Wall of Roots is unfortunately not Fire Spoutable. Although, I guess we could bounce that with Teferi. Strangleroot Geist is also not really Fire Spoutable. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. And the freaking Exalted means we can't block. Well, I mean, I guess we're going to lose our Grazer to Fire Spout eventually anyway, so we'll just make this block. They're one counter away from Wall of Roots dying to Fire Spout, so there's that. We can Teferi bounce, draw the Strangleroot, I guess. And play Grazer to block as well. That seems like the best choice. So they can't kill Teferi. This will stop them from being able to cord during our turn, at least. So no. Play Teferi. Bounce, draw. Boop. Pact is interesting. We need lands. We would like to find lands. I guess we should have drawn with Teferi before we played the Grazer in case we found bounce land there, but, like, whatever. Definitely the technically correct play, but... Alright, please just put a counter on Wall of Roots. That's all we want here. Yawgmoth? Okay. Wish we could Teferi that one. Dismember would be good. Another Summoner's Pact is not the most fantastic, but I think we're supposed to Fire Spout this. I think we're supposed to Fire Spout. Kills Wall of Roots, Ignoble, and triggers Undying on the Young Wolf. Probably worth it. Also, I'm not expecting Mages at this point, so... This also makes their cord worse, so it cuts off cord lines of some sort. We can play Grazer to block to try to keep our Teferi alive a little bit longer. I guess they just get to draw all the cards with the freaking Fire Spout. Oh, you know, in response to Fire Spout anyways, but I don't know. It's whatever. Okay. There's not really a point in playing the Grazer here, I guess. Yeah, we might need this to catch up if we top deck a bounce land so we can eventually get Titan into play. I don't know. This matchup is horrendous. Like, what are we supposed to actually do here? I guess we could have Endurance away the Young Wolf with the Undying on the stack, but it's like, whatever. Maybe Endurance pitching Grazer if they go for a combo kill here, like Withdraw Officer's Messenger or like Land Cord or something like that. It stops us from dying. Like, just Cord for 3 so we can Endurance Ignoble, okay. I guess we could have fire spotted instant speed with Teferi. I didn't think about that. That would have been kind of cool. Doing that in response to an Undying trigger actually would have been freaking insane, but you know, it's whatever. Now Teferi will be gone, and we probably can't win. Sad. Yep. Yeah, Yawgmoth is just such a card. Alright, well, we are rewarded for holding on to this Grazer. Now we can hard cast Endurance as well, so I guess we don't want to auto-yield here in case our opponent is going to do Undying shenanigans. Endurance might keep us alive for an extra turn here. I don't know how much it'll matter, but considering they get to draw cards every time they sacrifice anyways, but I don't think that we can just Endurance the first time they sacrifice something. We have to do it after they've tapped some mana. No, I guess actually we're supposed to Endurance now because they have to have the win in hand. Yeah, I think we're supposed to do it now. I don't know. It's so impossible to actually win against this freaking deck because, like, we're dead if we do and we're dead if we don't. Like, if we let them draw up to 7 cards here or more with the, bouncing back and forth and whatnot between their Undying creatures, then our Endurance doesn't even matter. But if we Endurance now, they could just have the cards that kill us. So, like, like if they just have, Chord or Evolution here, we're still just dead. But, like, we have to Endurance there immediately, or they get to draw all the things they need anyways. Although I guess that would put them at a lower life total than us, so they couldn't just win. But admittedly, we still can't actually beat them from that point anyways, so like this is our only way, is like hoping they just don't have anything. Fatal Push. Why is this card in their deck in the first place? I don't know why it's in their deck against us, but just in general, why is that in their deck? We'll block. I guess we could still draw Dismember for the Yogg and be in okay shape, but they have Chords and... Oh, Sigarda. Sigarda's pretty good. It's not good against Grist, but... Or are we supposed to pack for Titan and play it while we can? It's probably Titan, right? I mean, Sigarda stops us from dying to the combo, which... I mean, they might just have a Chord here. If they Chord for Messenger, we're just dead. Which they would have done last turn if they had it. Like, what do they have? I have no clue. Playing Sigarda seems useless, though. I guess that they could top deck a way to find Messenger and then we'd be dead. Do we bring in the Crossroads? No. So we can't get up to more life than them. We just have to hope that they don't top deck what they need and play Sigarda, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna go for the Titan, hope they don't have it, because there's really no other way that we're actually winning this game, so... Get double Bounce Land here for maximum mana. Get Simic and... I guess just double Simic for TOS purposes. Pick up Stomping Ground and Sparas. Play Sparas. Actually, I guess we could potentially cycle it, but I don't think we're ever going to do that, so we'll just play Sparas. They could have Mages here, we die. They have Chord or Evolution, we die. They just have nothing, I guess. I have no clue what's going on. Maybe their hand is 3 Yawgmoths and like a land. Or Thoughtseize. Blood Artist. Any Undying creature kills us now. I guess I just have 2 more Yawgmoths in hand or something. I don't know. Okay, so they're activating Yawgmoth. It's a fine sign. The other thing to note is they don't have to actually target any creatures to activate Yawgmoth. So, like, If they're waiting for us to have a creature to target to activate this to draw, that's not how the card works. They could just choose 0 targets and still draw the card. They said, oh, good game. Yeah. Okay, well, that is game. Alright, well, we ended up 1-4, which is not the most fantastic showing, but there's a couple things to learn from this league. I will say, this card right here, Knight of the Reliquary, I don't think this has any business being in an Amulet deck. As a 3-drop, it's very slow. It doesn't really ramp us. Like, if these Knights were Dryads and we just made room for a Valakut or 2 in here, then our Titans would have been way more impactful. Teferis were looking alright, but, like, they didn't really do anything, and we didn't play against any of the Cascade decks where they would have been very good, but, like, Teferi could still be potentially good. I think that we don't really want Knight in this list. I have been very unimpressed by it. And the other thing is that I actually think that Cobra is not better than additional copies of Dryad or Azusa, so, like, I would cut the Knights, and I would cut a Cobra to make room for 4 Dryads. I think that's a very good first change to make. I think Cobra's not bad. You definitely don't want 4, as this deck, having multiple Cobras is almost useless, to be honest. Sometimes it does some crazy things, but it's only in very corner cases, in my experience. I think the first ad being Dryad, and then switching the Stomping Ground for Valakut, and then playing a second Valakut over one of the fetch lands, I guess. This is an easy first change to make that I think would improve the deck. Having Dryad Valakut as an alternate angle to interact or kill our opponent, very, very potent, I think. And maybe playing one of the Teferis in the sideboard. Oh, the reason why I cut the Stomping Ground, by the way, is I think that we don't need to splash the red for this Fire Spout. I'm not in love with Fire Spout in general. You just play another Rest in Peace, perhaps. And I feel like this is where I would start with another list. I will say, though playing with these cards like Lotus Cobra and Teferi and Knight is fun, I don't think that it makes the list any better. I played a couple leagues with it on my own just to try to get a feel for the play patterns. And my favorite aspect of the deck has been being able to kill opponent with random Lotus Cobra lines, but even that, I think, is a little win more. I feel like Cobra is not the best card for the slot. Like, if we didn't have access to Explorers, I think it's possible we'd be playing Lotus Cobras instead, but Explorer's just better than Cobra in every way, in my opinion. So, definitely maxing out on Explorer makes sense to me. And I'm not even convinced it's right to play Cobras, but I mean, if I were working on this list, this is where I would go first. I would cut the Knights and play the Dryads. I would fit 2 Valakuts in there because it's pretty easy. We have tons of untapped green sources. And also, I think that you need this one Boseiju, and I would like to see another Boseiju or 2 in the sideboard. I'd play it over maybe the Magistrates. I play another couple Boseijus. Foundation Breaker is interesting. I was very off of it when I first saw it. I'm very used to playing 3 forces, but being able to pack for Breaker against the Blood Moon decks, like against Murktide and random, like, you know, red Blood Moon decks, just having one Foundation Breaker has actually been nice there. Nicer than I remembered it used to be. So, definitely one that's been kind of forgot at the time, but it's still good. I also think that not playing more Endurance is a mistake. I feel like you want to play up to 3 Endurances in the sideboard for the DRC matchups. And they do overlap with Rest in Peace a little bit, but I think that's fine. The Kabira Crossroads is not worth it, in my opinion. And unfortunately, I think the Sigurd is not worth it either. I just think that we don't really need anything for the grindier matchups. And if we're considering DRC Ragavan decks as grindy matchups, Endurance is definitely where we want to be. Helps against Living End as well. And Control, so. And also, I think if we're not splashing red and the Knight, we could maybe fit Urza Saga in here, but maybe not. Maybe a second Azusa as well would be a decent add, so maybe go like this. 29 lands is kind of low, though. Maybe a Garenbrig. One Garenbrig actually seems good to me over second Azusa. Yeah, feeling the lack of the two mana lance has been pretty big as well. We've got all these untapped sources and not very many ways to get to Titan mana, which is kind of a problem when you're playing Cobra, which is already usually one short of Titan mana anyways, so having Garenbrig to help fix that problem seems good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to leave it here. I definitely think there more changes could be made, and I personally would still play a traditional list over this, but if I wanted to explore this option with the Cobras and the Teferis, this is where I would look. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about the deck list in the comments below, and let me know what you want to see me play in the next video. I enjoyed this one a lot. Hopefully you guys did too, despite that we had a kind of lackluster result. And yeah, this is Red Face Menace, signing off.